Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, whatever time of day you are watching. This is the Victory Roll Wrestling YouTube channel where we are doing some predictions for AEW's WrestleDream. I am the storyteller Alex Braddock, and joining me as always.
I am never ready, Dylan Gilbert, and buddy, let's get into WrestleDream.
WrestleDream is going to be a hot one. AEW, people claim that we are the marks for AEW when really and truly we're wrestling fans, folks.
Tony books it for the
And
sickos, and I am one of those.
Tony books it for the sickos. We are, in fact, the sickos. We love a good technical. We love a good high fly. We love a good, just big, meaty man slapping meat.
If you can give me a grappling match and a death match on the same card, my heart is happy.
And we may get to that point because
We'll
we have a few matches on here that might get wild. Dylan, in no particular order, we're starting off with Mark Briscoe versus Chris Jericho and for the Ring of Honor World Championship.
Man, this is one I'm conflicted on because I know Jericho always wants more TV time, but I think today the word of the day is retention. And I think Mark Briscoe is taking that title right back home. Look, you can't talk about Jay like that and walk
Look,
away.
man, I say this. I don't want to just fight against you the whole time, but I think the learning tree has to become El Nueve, and we have to have the 9th time that Chris Jericho has held a world title.
Yeah, talk about some nuclear heat.
Oh, well, I mean, it just leads to a practical death match between Jericho and Briscoe. That's all it's going to lead to.
Maybe we get another Briscoe farm fight where they fight all the way around the property. Boy, wouldn't that be fun?
Shoot, just have a one-on-one ladder wars match. That's probably what Tony's trying to fight for right now. Is like Death Before Dishonor or Super Card of Honor or something dumb is coming up, and he's got to pull a big card out. So definitely going to be a big match. May not be huge on this card, but will eventually become bigger in the Ring of Honor scene.
Oh yeah.
But up next, the match that we are terrified to see because we might see a human die. Darby Allin versus Brody King.
You're not going to find many bigger Brody King fans than me, but Darby's got to get the win.
See, and I'm in full agreement. I love King, but we are definitely in a scene where Darby cannot lose.
Especially after getting massacred by Mox here recently. You put him in there with a guy like Brody he's got chemistry with, but they've also just put on absolute wars. So I think Darby takes the win.
Absolutely. And I mean, once again, Darby also got completely massacred by Jack Perry in a casket match.
Yes.
So he's due for a pay-per-view win at this moment in time. But speaking of Jack Perry, TNT Championship, Jack Perry versus Katsuyori Shibata. Somebody that we never thought would touch a wrestling ring again, and yet he's still going strong. No pun intended.
So if I was prepared, I would have had my phone up and done the Shibata talk to type. But I'm not prepared because I never am. But I think Jack Perry retains. I think it's going to be a banger, but I think there's going to be some sort of chicanery.
Absolutely. Some way, shape, or form, there will be shenanigans that ensue because earlier in the weeks, we've had a trios match, correct? We had Shibata and Private Party setting up the tag team title match that we'll talk about here in a second.
Yep.
So yeah, I love Shibata, but it's not the blow off. Perry's taking it.
It's not the blow off. I think it's going to be a great match, and Shibata can lose, man. He's great with or without a title, with or without the win.
He's legendary enough to take a loss.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm actually going to skip ahead ever so slightly to the tag team match. We got the Young Bucks versus Private Party. I'm going to stop you right there. Bucks are taking it.
Absolutely
not. Private Party No,
Dude, so here's why I think it. I've talked to enough of my people that I know that pay attention to AEW that are have hit me with I think Private Party might actually take this thing. And if you'd have said that a year ago, 2 years ago, I'd have laughed. But the more I keep hearing it out of other people, I'm like, they might take this thing. And I think you want to get those guys as over as you can. Having them take the big win over the Bucks could be something special.
I can agree with that sentiment, but we are not dealing with the Acclaimed. We are dealing with Private Party.
Yeah.
If we were talking OG Acclaimed before they ever won the tag titles the first time, I would be there. Acclaimed was white hot, blowing up the scene, and then they went into Chicago and won it surprisingly. We were expecting them to lose it, and they won it surprisingly. If they win it, this will be an underdog win. But once again, I have to take the Bucks in this situation. I really think we are going to be dealing with a big elite blow off that has them lose all these titles, and I don't think Party's a part of it.
We'll see.
We will see. But the match that me and you are most excited for. Triple threat. Will Ospreay versus Ricochet versus Kunetsuka Takeshita. I can never say his. I'm just going to start calling him Takeshita.
Yep.
Buddy, who are you taking?
Man, I think there's so many ways this match can go, but I've got this feeling in my gut that it's Takeshita. I feel like you've got Ospreay and Ricochet that are already kind of feuding, and now they've got this shared enemy. But I think something about this, the way that Takeshita came into this feud just tells me, I think he's walking away with that title. You know me, I'm an Ospreay guy through and through, but I got that gut feeling it's going to be Takeshita.
You know what's awful? Is that I really was hoping you were going to go with Ospreay because I am pulling for Takeshita in this moment as well. Everything says from not just Takeshita coming to attack, but all the heat that Ospreay has with the Don Callis family.
You're teasing a huge blow up, and what better way to push forward to a huge blow up than to take that title off his shoulders?
And I will make my first proposition for a 0.5 point prediction.
Uh-oh.
So whether it happens or not, I will either lose a 0.5 point or gain a 0.5 point. I think we see the full Kyle Fletcher heel turn tonight.
Ooh. Okay. Look, I'm not mad at it.
Full heel Fletcher is happening tonight, and you cannot tell me otherwise until it doesn't happen. But we shall see.
We'll see.
We shall see. It's going to be a hot match either way. Who knows? Maybe we'll end up getting a tag match or something out of it. Who the frick knows? But a match that I didn't see coming at all, and it just so happened to happen because of sickness reasons, I think. Mariah May versus Willow Nightingale.
Yeah, it's a match that I think will be fun. It's kind of a clashing of styles, but I mean, Mariah's not losing that belt yet.
Yeah, May's taking it.
10,000 day reign, Mariah May. Long may she reign.
I agree. Willow will get a shot.
100%.
Eventually.
And
but we are not done with... Honestly, we're not even done with the Toni Storm story.
No, because Toni still has to come back at some point.
Right. We are not done with the Toni Storm story. We are definitely not done with the Mina Shirakawa story.
Right.
There's so much we have to do.
I think we get Mina before we get Toni. So
absolutely.
We've got a lot left for
this
story.
We've got Dynasty coming up.
Yep.
We've got a whole bunch. And I mean, shoot, to have Mina Shirakawa in Tokyo would mean a lot. So definitely May taking it. Once again, as you said, long may she reign. We talked about a potential death match earlier in the night, but somebody might die in this one because there's a potential return happening during this match. Hangman Adam Page versus Jay White.
So I think this is one of those matches where I'm like, there's no wrong answers. One of these guys winning is the right call.
Yeah.
and I've been back and forth on this one. I literally my pick is going to happen as I'm talking. I think it's going to be Hangman, just because like this story that they've been telling, he's going further and further down, but like he's also just maiming people. And I don't think that it's Jay White that knocks him off of it. I think it has to be a collision again with Swerve.
Yeah,
I think it has to be.
I agree. I write down all of the predictions, and before you even started talking, I wrote down Jay White. I
Oh man, no wrong answers.
There's once again there's no wrong answers. Jay's coming off of an injury, I believe, and just returned 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's facing Hangman. It's going to be a good one, whether this happens or that happens. But with Swerve coming back, there's potential. They've already confirmed that he's coming back. It'll probably be a promo segment, but it wouldn't surprise me if he came out during this match and popped Hangman.
Yeah,
for shenanigans. Now, what they would do for the match between Swerve and Hangman, I mean, it's literally going to have to be, the first one to kill another guy wins.
It's going to have to be something crazy. Because, I don't know how you won up that cage match. I don't know how you won up that cage match without going full, like, mid-2000s CZW. But if anybody understands mid-2000s CZW, it's a guy that was there.
Correct. A match that I just scrolling on my phone while I'm going through the match card, didn't even know was on the card. Hologram versus the Beast Mortos in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
This is just going to be good lucha things.
Absolutely. I mean, it will be Flippy Dippy Saturday, and you can't tell me otherwise. But
Mortos is such a good base for the high flying stuff, and Hologram is just a cartoon character. Like this
absolutely,
is the fans win. Like,
yeah. The fan. That's our prediction. The fans. No.
Hologram.
What are you taking? Hologram.
It's Hologram.
Yeah, they're gonna push Hologram.
They're building this character up.
Absolutely.
Mean, like, he's been lighting up on Collision. I think this is his kind of big statement win.
Absolutely. I'm waiting for they're building Hologram up to take the TNT title, not off of Perry, but they are taking Hologram to take the TNT title so he can stay on Collision and keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, and then Buddy, last but certainly not least, what we can only guess is our main event of the night. Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship. Who you got, bud?
I'm actually going to tie in my 0.5 swing pick here.
Okay.
So we've talked about a few different things that could happen in this off air. I think Danielson wins. I don't think this is I think Danielson retains. Let me say that. I think maybe we get some sort of screwy finish because Moxley's stable has been involved in every single match Danielson has had. Where I'm putting my 0.5 swing in is we kind of think Yuta would be the one to come out. I think if there has to be a save made, Danielson's about to get the bag again. Oasis starts playing. Nigel McGuinness runs down to help make the save because he earned the respect in that match. And I think that you want to talk about a crowd pop, all crowd pops. Like if Danielson, the numbers game is not in their favor, and Nigel McGuinness comes out to help save Danielson. Think of the pop.
So 0.5 points for Dylan will be Nigel save. Boy.
I mean, we're calling a real Hail Mary throw downfield here, but
absolutely. I mean, shoot, in a sense, the heel turn can be too, and we'll talk about another Hail Mary that we'll be talking here in a little bit. That I'm really curious if we should make the Golden Snitch or not. But yeah, dude, I don't see Danielson losing it, but I know he's on his way out. Like if anybody would do it, it's Mox, and as much as crap as people in WWE gave Mox or this, that, and the other, you see, Paul Heyman, we don't report on dirt sheets. But Mox is solid. I would love to see the first ever 3-time AEW champion. But I think Danielson goes out as in Dynasty, so I think Danielson retains it.
I think Mox would be a good guy to retire him, but I don't think he's had enough of this retirement tour. They're very obviously making this the retirement tour.
Yeah.
And he said he will be done as a full-time competitor, whether that means he comes back once ever or once a year, once a month, whatever. Right. He sounds like he plans on trying to come back, but this is the retirement tour.
Yeah.
And there's still storylines left untold. I mean, what happens with Yuta, what happens with like some of the other stuff that he's got going on. So yeah.
Indeed. And then super quick, we're not going to make predictions, but we do have the 0 Hour show. We've got MXM models versus the Acclaimed. What else do we have? We have Brian Cage versus
Atlantis Jr.
Okay.
And then we had one more. Harley Cameron versus Anna Jay.
There you go.
Which the fans win in that one. Let's just
that'll be a decent one. Anna Jay's returning more and more solid. Check out one of our previous episodes of the podcast where we talk about that. But Dylan, let's go into what we may decide as the Golden Snitch. This is an AEW pay-per-view, which means we throw balls to the wall when it comes to debuts and returns. So we will make one choice for a debut or a return that could potentially happen on this show. And if it happens, we may get a number of points decided probably tonight when we're watching the show. But Dylan, Golden Snitch debut/return pick, who are you taking?
Okay, so I will address the elephant in the room first because we agreed off air.
Yes.
We all know Bobby Lashley's coming. That's not fun. We're not picking that one because it seems very obvious at this point. But if we are talking like big debut, big return, it's another one of those ones, man. If this is the Golden Snitch, I am taking my 3-step drop and I am slinging one. And I'm saying Eddie Kingston comes back. He posted that he's in the brace. But who knows how long he's been in that brace, how long he's been waiting to post that. Maybe
Absolutely.
We see the King come back.
You know, buddy, for me, it's a coin toss. And, to that point, Dylan, heads or tails for me?
Let's say tails.
We're going to say tails. Hey, Siri, flip a coin. She said tails. Therefore, I'm going with the rumors. I'm going with the knocked out of the park 70-mile-an-hour curveball. I believe 199% that Shane O'Mac is making his debut in AEW. And if it happens, 10 points on the board for Alex Braddock.
Shut up and here comes the money.
Shut up and here comes the money because it's not your wrestling company anymore.
I equal parts want it and don't want it.
I agree. The pick that doesn't count if it was going to flip on heads was Dunkzilla, but I don't think it's happening anytime soon.
Not yet.
Give me Davis, but it's not going to happen. That's why I wanted to flip a coin over it.
Not before at least the build to Australia.
Correct. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, WrestleDream is tonight for AEW. I believe it airs at 7 p.m. our time, which is 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We will definitely be filming a video and putting up a recap for us tomorrow, which is going to be Sunday the 13th. We are definitely going to make that happen. We'll probably be a little later in the day, but we'll definitely get it up. And as always, tune in on Mondays for our normal podcast. You can find me at the Alex Braddock or Alex Braddock on social medias. You can find Dylan where?
You can find me running around the ring at 225 Unleashed. And other than that, man, Dylan Gilbert on social media.
Heck yeah, Holmes. But I end the episodes or the podcast the same way that I start them. Whether it's been a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, or a good night, whatever time of day you've been watching, thanks for watching. And this has been the Victor Wrestling Podcast.